Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike at Filmboy24. Today we are going to continue our really old film shoot and process and see if we can get an image. So before we get started on the very next test roll, I'll explain all this in just a second. I want to say thank you to each and every single human being out there that made my 1,000 subscriber goal possible. From the bottom of my heart, thank you! I promise I'll never sing again if you continue to subscribe, comment, like, and share my videos. Well, maybe I'll still sing. But really, it means a lot to me. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed so far. Do me a favor if you haven't. Hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of fun here. I do a lot of film, a lot of analog, and just a lot of goofiness. Enough about that. What are we doing today? Well, several months ago, a friend of mine in Atlanta, Georgia, sent me a nice little care package of old movie film. Most of it was movie film that he had stored in his garage for years. Now, if you know anything at all about film, you know, and he knows this, he's admitted it, you probably shouldn't store your film in a garage, especially here where I'm at in Florida, in the beautifully humid climate that we deal with here on a regular basis. So you deal with the climate, you deal with the bugs. Florida. And movie film, any film, doesn't like that, especially color film. You see, black and white film actually holds up fairly well over time. Color film, not so much. So when he sent this to me, he said, I hope there's something you can do with it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get into any more of the color movie film today. Today is about this roll of Portra that he also included. If you haven't seen part one of this, I did shoot some of the 250D old Vision 250D that he sent along. I'll put a link to that video somewhere up here. Click on that and you can see the results of that, which is this roll here. Today we're going to talk about this Portra 160 NC still picture film. Don't believe they make this in the 100-foot rolls anymore. I wish they did, because this is a neat little film. NC stands for natural color, and this film, this particular roll, it expired and it was stored improperly, admittedly by my buddy. It expired in April of 2003. So I date this somewhere around 20 years old because I give it a couple of years to expire. So with that, what I did for this test was really pretty simple. You see, I didn't want to put this in my bulk loader just yet until I knew if it would, was any good at all. It had black tape on the outside of it, so I don't know if that was original. So he and I, neither one of us were positive if the film, if any of it had been shot at all, or if it was a fresh, brand new roll. So I took it in my bathroom, and I just literally unspooled, it seems like about 10 exposures, snipped it, rolled it into a cartridge, and just took it outside and took some random photos. Now this is Portra film, so it's supposed to give you that real sort of pastel natural look to flesh tones. So I brought my little one out there and took a couple of pictures of her, a couple of pictures of some flowers, and what I'm going to show you is just that. Probably 4 or 5 pictures, because I really didn't put too much in here of what I got from that. What I used was my trusty, handy-dandy, favorite all-time 35mm still picture camera, my Nikon F3. I used my Nikon 50mm f1.4 lens for all of these shots, and I processed this film right there in that 70s kitchen with C41 process. Now I want to remind you, like I said earlier, this film has been sitting for many, many years in a non-environmentally controlled environment. That made no sense, but it was in poor storage conditions. So with that, take a look at the 4 or 5 pictures that I got. And there you have it. Came out pretty good, I'd say. Again, I just wanted to take a few photos just to see if the film was any good. And clearly it's got a lot of life left in it still, and I'm really excited about that because I absolutely love Portra film. I still have a lot of plans to shoot this old motion picture film. Now, some of this old motion picture film that he sent me, let me show you a quick picture of everything he sent me. Here it is. Now, the motion picture film is way older than the Portra, and it doesn't usually store as well as a lot of the still film does. The first video I shot with the 250D was from 1989, and they're short ends, which means they were loaded into a camera back in the late 80s, early 90s. They shot some of the film. They didn't shoot all of the film, so the film loader person took the magazine, and in the dark, they unloaded the unused portion of that film, and they put it back in the can. That is called a short end. Well, that's what I have here, and they've been sitting for 30 plus years in a garage. So I have a couple more that I'm going to shoot up. I have some 500T, and I also have some Agfa 320T that you will see as part 3 and part 4 of this series of film. If you want to see all of that happen, then make sure you subscribe, because I got some other neat and cool, fun, exciting things coming too. Like, this is a 16mm film cartridge. Now, I got 5 of these very recently from an online seller who I bought a camera from. Well, I didn't know if these were exposed or not, and when I got them back, most of them are about half exposed, and this one's completely exposed. I don't know what year or era this is from. It came with a Revere 16mm movie camera, so my guess is probably sometime in the 50s, 60s. So we may do a found film fully developed this particular cartridge. Stay tuned if you want to know what is on this film. By the way, this is not old Kodachrome. This is actually a black and white movie film. I don't know what type, it just says black and white. 160, probably either plus X or Tri-X. Not 100% sure. I got to do a little research, maybe a snip test. Coming. This is coming. Also, really quick, just a fun thing I want to share with you. You know, if you've watched any of my channels, especially recently, that I enjoy being outdoors. I love wildlife, and you know that I get hawks and squirrels and buzzards and things like that in my yard. Well, there was a resting raccoon in my yard from morning until basically till we were going to bed. And my wife's a vet tech, so she said, well, there's probably something wrong with them, because raccoons don't usually come out during the day, and if they do, most of the time it means there's something wrong with them. So when she got home from work, she took a peek out there and said, well, it doesn't look like there's anything. He was really high up in the tree. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with him, but he might just be chilling. So I snagged my camera, took a quick picture of him. Check him out. He's checking me out. My daughter, oldest daughter, also mentioned that, you know, it's probably wise, Dad, if you ask your subscribers what they would like to see. Because, you know, this is tough, always trying to figure out what I like to do coupled with what I think some people might like to see. So if there's anything in particular that you would like to see, film related, analog related, let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's anything that you would like this goofball to try and experiment with. Because it's just like my next door neighbor's third cousin's sister's mailman's best friend used to always tell me. If you don't get other people's opinions, well, you're stuck with yours, and you know what that smells like. At any rate, if you enjoy videos like this, do me a huge favor. Thought I was going to do it, didn't you? Just tap the like button for me. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know what you think of this particular film. And as always, hit that subscribe button. And until the very next time I see each and every one of you absolutely stunningly beautiful people. Yep, I'll see everyone on the next go around.